The purpose of this video is to explain how past returns need to be looked at. So, before investing, people typically look at the average returns. Ideally, it will make more sense if you look at the rolling returns. So, this is the data which I took from Google Finance, available from 1986. So, I have taken till the present date. And then I have calculated the rolling returns. So, from 1 year, 2 years, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years. So overall, if you look at it, it is a 39 years of data. So for 1 year return, there are over 9,000 instances actually. So even before that, what does a rolling return actually mean? So the first data point is on 2nd January 1986. So for somebody who has invested on 2nd January 1986, the 1 year return would be on 2nd January 1987. So for that person, this return matters more than the average return. So for rolling return, what happens is we typically calculate return for each and every day. That can be for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and whatever may be the time horizons. So if you look at those 1 year returns, so there are more than 9,000 instances, right? Where there is a possibility of that calculating that 1 year return. So during that period, so the minimum return possible was negative 59.23%, and the max positive return was 246.75%. And the mean return is 14.75%. So typically investors look at this 14.75%. So, but if you look at the median, so on the rolling basis for the close to last 40 years, the median return has been 9.37%. That means 50% of the investors made less than 9.37% on a 1 year basis. Again, as we increase the time horizon, you can see that the minimum return is the median return is increasing and coming closer to the mean return actually, right? And again, so every year I have calculated and how things looked at, right? So in the year 1991, where the reforms have taken place, the stock market has was hit with multiple scams. Yet somebody who is a regular investor in the market would have done well because they would have ended up with a mean return provided you are doing it on a regular basis, right? So in 1998, there were reforms in the IT sector and telecom sector. And for 1998, for investor who had stayed put for more than 10 years, they definitely had a positive returns, right? And from 2006, the FRBM Act came into effect from 2003 onwards, and the fiscal discipline has been taken care by the central government. So the minimum returns have started become positive at the 10 years, but there is one negative even at the 7 year duration, right? Instances of negative returns were 27 actually. So if you look at it, the negative instances have been declining as we are going ahead in the time. Uh, in 2010, even after GFC, if somebody had a horizon more than 5 years, right, they ended up making decent returns. So even in 2010, there is only one single instance of negative return on a 5 year basis. So this was during the COVID actually, right? And somebody who has invested regularly has done really well again. So 2015, after the change in the government, because of the majority government and there weren't any coalition needs, there were a lot of reforms which were carried out, like GST, AQR for banks. Fiscal discipline has been like really good, corporate tax cuts, and everything resulted in a better business environment, right? And this has, even here, there is one instance, but again, that was due to COVID. So 2020, after COVID, there was a lot of transformation. And again, a lot has been said about 1 year returns. But if you look at the median rolling returns, it is still at 12.71%, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years. This has been more like at the historic averages, if we look at it, right? So if we go back to 2015, right, if there is somebody who got negative 0.14% return after 5 years, there is one instance. What if you are that one person who has invested on that day, right? And what if this person has stayed for 2 more years? Say, for example, this negative 14% is is on 23rd of March 2020. That means somebody would have invested on 23rd of March 2015, right? What would have happened if this person had stayed put for 2 more years? So, so then the return would have been 11.63%. And what if we waited beyond 10 years? That is like that would be in 2025 March, yet we do not know it. But even if you are looking at the 10-year returns, the minimum return has been 8.21% and the median has been 10.75 and 10.74, right? So you can expect that over 10% return is a possibility because at the 7 years time there has been 11.71%, that is on 2022, right? And at the same time, the returns in the market have been positive if somebody had stayed put in the market, right? So the conclusion we can derive from this is like what matters is the asset allocation and time in the market, right? These are the two key ingredients to get very good returns. In fact, you will be able to generate superior returns if somebody is getting their time horizons and the asset allocations right. Thank you.